professional wrestling, a New York Times best-selling author, and now he's gone from throwing punches, if you will, to punch lines. Mick Foley is in the house taking on a new role as a comedian.
He joins us now this morning to talk about his appearance. It's happening tonight in Williamstown, New Jersey. Thanks for joining us.
Well, hey, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for waking me up so bright and early.
Oh, you got it? Oh, man. Yes, indeed.
I'm curious, why stand-up comedy? What inspired this?
Oh, you know what? One of the things I enjoyed most from my wrestling days was having that microphone and kind of having free reign to say whatever I thought happened to be interesting at the time. It didn't necessarily have to be wrestling related. And so when I'm out there on the stage, it's very much like being in that ring, and that is it's up to you to create. You know, you step in there and you leave hopefully having created something. So when I get on stage, it feels the same way, and there's always the potential for disaster, as anyone who was at last night's show could attest. Last night was a difficult series of circumstances. I'm so glad that the Sixers are playing tomorrow, because last night we were at a sports bar and I show up and I'm like, okay, so there's a Sixers game, Rangers, Devils, and Yankees all taking place in the sports bar.
I got you.
People are going to be watching us. So it was you win some, you lose some. So I say that tonight is going to be an overwhelming success.
Sweet. Who made you laugh when you were coming up?
The Reverend Bob Levy. I was listening to him when I was a young child. He's still out there, still
Check the guys out.
Still killing today. I remember being huddled in my cousin's house in Massachusetts and hearing the first George Carlin album I'd ever heard. And I just thought, it wasn't just the bad language, it was how he used the language. I mean, he really was a master of the English language and finding the subtleties in it. And so I know wrestling and subtlety don't usually go hand in hand.
Yeah, really,
I try to throw some things out there. I'm lucky I'm going to be doing 4 dates in Edinburgh, Scotland at the biggest comedy festival in the world. So I'm going to start working on some fairly deep material starting tonight.
Okay, now Edinburgh and places like that, maybe they're not the largest wrestling communities. Does your act really include everyone? Can everyone enjoy this?
Anybody can. I try to make sure that the people who show up, I think of myself as Mick Jagger on a solo tour. Like, I want people to appreciate my new material, but I understand why they're there. You know, I'm not going to leave them without a couple of good wrestling stories. But the experiences that I learned through wrestling can translate and relate to anything. You know, everything I've learned in life, I've learned through wrestling. I had a new lesson today, though.
Let's hear it.
Very lovely young lady came over. I thought she wanted to have a photo taken with me. You saw I was being very gracious. I was like, you would like a photo? She's like, no, you're standing in my weather center. So
you hear Katie laughing over there?
Katie kicked me out of the weather center. And I'll tell you that, I still marvel whenever I see someone against that green screen. I'm like, I'll tell my wife at home, like, you know, they don't actually have a map behind them there. They're making it happen.
So you need to come in and do weather with us one day.
Well, my son, I would love to bring my son, who is a weather fanatic, and he would.
I'm sure.
Can we make that dream come true for him?
Yeah.
Katie, she said, let's do it.
All right.
Oh, look.
Look. Sock puppet.
Mr. Sacco.
Now, I don't know if we have enough time to make people understand why a big guy like me wearing a sock puppet is so
let me find out.
We
We have at least 20 seconds. Okay, go ahead.
I went to cheer up Mr. McMahon in the hospital in 1999. He was being the world's crankiest patient. He was there for a bone bruise, but he was hooked up to a heart monitor and a respirator, and I was trying to think of a gift that everyone would hate, and a friend of mine, Al Snow, said, how about a sock puppet? Everybody hates sock puppets.
Oh, you can't hate this guy.
12 years later, people still remember that guy. Hi, Mr. Sacco.
Fantastic.
Mankind.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. All right.
Good luck tonight.
I will see you at Anthony and Cleopatra's tonight.
You got it.
I'll be late tomorrow.
My man. Once again, Mick will be appearing tonight at Anthony and Cleopatra's Caterers in Williamstown, New Jersey. For ticket information, head to CBSPhilly.com and click on links and numbers. You sure you don't want to do weather? Because it's traffic and weather together starting
Coming up next, right now.
Make sure you enjoy it while you can. Bob, over to you.
All right, come on. We got guest traffic here. Go ahead, Nick.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. There's a tractor trailer fire, a bad one. It's running right along I-1. Looks pretty bad. I'd avoid that area if at all possible. That would be my advice to you.
And stay there. We're coming right back.